Well, this is an interesting story because I had originally wanted to write something for Angela Brown, who had given such wonderful performances in the role of Scylla in my opera Margaret Garner. And when we got around to talking about text, I asked her, is there any particular text you'd be interested in having me set? And she, without hesitation, said, oh, if you could set Maya Angelou, that would be fantastic. And I said to her, well, I happen to know Maya Angelou. I've known her for about a decade. And in fact, I was planning on paying her a visit in this summer. It happened to be the summer of '06 that we were having this conversation. And in fact, I wanted to go to see Dr. Angelou because I wanted to introduce my wife Kathleen to her. We had just, been married a little under a year, and I just thought it would be a great thing to make that connection. So I went then with, with this idea, and as I had talked to Angela, the idea of writing a kind of cycle involving a woman's life and dealing with the life cycle, essentially, childhood to old age, like a Frauenleben und Leben, but the Schumann cycle, but American and with a decidedly different flavor, being that it would be for Angela. And so I went to Dr. Angelou and I brought Kathleen. We talked. We had a nice time, and I then started popping the question about the piece, and I said, I'm interested in doing this for Angela. I played a tape of her singing, and I said, what I'm looking for is a cycle that involves a woman's life from childhood to old age. Would you be interested or willing in writing some poems for me? And she said, I have them, my dear. I have them. They're already done. And so she had one of her assistants produce a copy of her collected poems, and she put the book on a little stand, and holding our hands, at her dining room table, she read 8 poems. And I have to say, it was one of the greatest performances I have ever witnessed. It was really something else. I'll never forget it. And it was almost like being at some kind of church service, I set 6 or 7 of those, and I may have added one that she originally didn't think of and then approved for the cycle. But that was really how a woman's life began.